Do you know who was known or has come to be known as history's most prolific murderer? Or one of history's most prolific murderers, history's most prolific female murderer?
I do know this for two reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, I mean, no, three reasons. One, just because I kind of heard whispers about this growing up. Two,
Yeah.
a ghost song that caused me to
Yes.
Google it
Yes.
afterwards.
Yes. Yes.
And three, I did watch a movie about her, Miss Elizabeth Bathory or Elizabeth
That's the
Bathory.
one. That's the one. Is it the movie with Anna Friel?
No, not that one. It was Julie Delpy, and she wrote, directed, and composed the score and acted in it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Bathory enthusiast.
Yeah, apparently.
Oh.
So yes, I do. I do know who it is. I don't know a ton about her, but
give her the Joag treatment. Let's talk about the Countess. We're talking late 1560s, died in 1614. A distinguished family of kings and priests and noblemen and judges.
From Hungary, right? Is that correct?
Hungarian? Yes, indeed. Yes. Born in an area of Hungary called near Bathory, right?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like it.
Witnessed lots of suffering growing up. A very cold-hearted, cruel family with very little regard for human life. Peasantry surrounding them and working for them in their care. A lot of stories of Countess Bathory have become apocryphal, yes, but
sure,
there's a lot of smoke here, you know.
Yeah.
One such story in her youth sees of her family making her watch them sew a peasant who'd been accused of stealing. They stitched a peasant live into the carcass of a dying horse.
Oh my God.
Fucking right. Stitched a peasant into the body of a horse while Elizabeth looked on and laughed. The stories become more and more wild from here. An uncle who guided her in the ways of Satanism.
Okay. So far, that's not wilder than stitched into a horse, but continue.
Oh, it's good shit, but it gets worse. An uncle who guided her in the ways of Satanism. And we're talking at a very young age here, 10, 11, 12. An aunt who, led her into practices of sadomasochism and rituals.
Jesus.
Married at 15, okay, to a soldier in the Hungarian army, a Count Ferenc Naradzi. And this guy, again, the two of them became more and more cruel, fed off one another's cruelty, torturing their staff. He guided her in torture methods so that while he was away at war, she could retain control and discipline among her staff. He gifted her a clawed glove to use as a disciplinary tool against their peasant serving staff, if you can believe that shit.
Just like straight up Freddy status.
Exactly.
That is wild. Were they related?
Well, they were married at 15.
Well, right? I just
15.
I just ask because A, royalty tends to marry each other, and B, that how do you end up with someone who is also just as cruel and bananas as you are?
Well, Bathory was a sickly child, okay, was given to seizures, was given to kind of an epileptic disorder, which a lot of people say was down to her inbred lineage. Okay?
Yep, yeah, that'll do.
So inbreeding was absolutely rife. Now, rumors surrounding their home would begin to circulate because of the huge numbers of dead servants that would be witnessed being carried out of their property. Elizabeth would claim this was due to cholera, but night after night after night, they were to be witnessed carrying dead peasant corpses out of their home. There are tales of the two just growing more and more sadistic over the years, tales of them covering victims in honey and leaving them to insects and ants. Oh, yeah. Tales of them committing mass murder in specially constructed tunnels underneath their home.
Oh, God.
But things went up a gear with Elizabeth when the Count died, okay? He died after a wound went septic. A wound, incidentally, which he reportedly received in an argument with a sex worker who he refused to pay.
Well,
yeah, indeed.
Good for that sex worker.
Well, yeah, you might say. So after that, yeah, things really, like I say, went up a gear. The Countess moved to a castle, Chachtice, in Hungary, now Slovakia. And Bathory surrounded herself with an inner circle of people who helped her indulge her obsessions with torture, with sadomasochistic practices. She became obsessed with the idea of eternal youthfulness, okay? Eternal, remaining young at all times. Again, legend has it that one time she struck one of her servants for brushing her hair incorrectly, just in a fit of rage, belted her across the face and got blood on her hand, and noticed that the spot of blood on her hand lent the skin a kind of a more youthful appearance.
Oh no.
And this is where, from there, it's just full tilt. Stories of young women and children from surrounding villages disappearing regularly. Runaways would be led to the castle with promises of work, with promises of lodgings. And Bathory, it is said, would carry out torture herself. Girls would have their mouths sewn shut.
Oh, God.
They were, yes. Girls were made to eat human flesh, sometimes their own human flesh. Burned, genital mutilation, beaten to death. It's during this period that those legends of her bathing in blood were said to have taken place. I mean, there's surrounding this is political skullduggery as well.
Right, which the movie did allude to. Yeah.
There you go. So, it isn't certain how much of these stories, are apocryphal, or how much were, rival kind of royal families and law, priests and whatnot, just kind of adding to the legend to bring it down. But this shit is what really fucking tops this off for me. She set up a school, right?
Oh no,
an etiquette school for noble girls in 1609, and this was to be her undoing. Kill a couple of hundred peasants,
right? Like, nobody's gonna care.
But when you start using the pupils from your etiquette school as a pool for fresh victims, that's when people start to take notice.
It's like H.H. Holmes, where it was like he was deliberately in his murder hotel taking in these women who nobody would miss, these like very anonymous girls coming to Chicago to work the World's Fair. And his downfall was when he picked, someone who someone missed.
Exactly this.
It's not a good idea.
This. The families of noble women appealed to the king at the time, King Matthias of Hungary, who investigated her. And again, possibly apocryphal, maybe not, but the stories say that a count who was instructed to investigate her, Count Thurzo, came to arrest her in her castle in the middle of a torture session of hers, surrounded by bodies, mid-session, you know what I mean?
Awkward.
Yeah, indeed. Arrested, imprisoned for life, kept in solitary confinement for life. Testimonies extracted from her staff, often under duress, often under horrific torture, meaning, the truth is all but lost. At her trial, 80 victims were named, but Bathory herself claims the number was in the 600s.
She's like, oh, no. If we're going to do this, we're going to do this right. I did a lot more than that.
Yep.
Give me credit where credit's due.
Yes, incredible. Absolutely incredible. And, a name that lives in infamy. I mean, when you've got awesome bands like Venom and Ghost to this day writing songs about you, movies made about you. History remembers an artist, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess that's one way of putting it.
Mm-hmm. The castle is still there, by the way. Castle Chachtice is still there as a ruin, but you can find it if you Google it. The tunnels underneath the castle still there. The chambers underneath the castle where these mass murders and these tortures are said to have taken place, still there today.
Oh man, the vibes there have got to be real bad.
Such vibes.
Bad vibes, dude. They do like tours and stuff like that there?
There are, ghost hunters, ghost hunting videos on YouTube. I bet it's popular with goths. I'm going to say this. It's a goth hangout.
I would imagine so. Yeah. Fascinating. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'd go.
Oh, absolutely. I would go. Yes. I would go and I would wear kind of corpse paint. I would totally go and goth it up.
You're such a nerd.
Yeah, I know. I have a deep affinity for goths. I really do.
Yeah.
I think it's good luck if you see a goth.
It's good luck if you see a goth.
Yes.
Okay, I'm willing to accept that. Now I'm just gonna have to seek out more goths.
As of now, see a goth. If you see two goths, that's bad luck. But just if a goth crosses your path, you get good luck for the rest of the day.